Troubling information coming out that may help explain the Boston bombers' motives. Officials investigating possible links to an extremist Islamic preacher, Faiz Mohammed, and his relationship with a Boston area mosque. Here to explain, Charles Jacobs, president of Americans for Peace and Tolerance. And you're based out of Boston, right?
We're based out of Boston.
You've been watching this particular mosque for some time. What do you know?
Well, people are trying to guess what were the factors behind the radicalization of these two young men. You can point to radical imams here and there that they put on their Facebook pages. But the fact is that they lived a few blocks away from a very controversial radical mosque that's been the subject of contention and controversy for 10 years in Boston.
In fact, the founder of this mosque, currently serving a 23-year prison sentence for raising funds for Al-Qaeda.
Right. Abdul Rahman al-Amoudi is in jail now. He publicly supported Hezbollah and Hamas. He raised funds for Al-Qaeda. The trustee of that mosque is none other than Yusif al Qaradawi, who is the spiritual leader of the Muslim Brotherhood. Any one of our listeners here can Google him and see on YouTube him calling for the slaughter of Jews, the killing of homosexuals, and predicting that Islam will overtake America. On that mosque's website was How to Beat Your Wife, a lesson in how to beat your wife. The mosque is run now by the Muslim American Society, which federal prosecutors say is the overt arm of the Muslim Brotherhood in America.
And we know that Tamerlan, the older suspect in this case who was killed, had been arrested for domestic violence. So that's an interesting point. Governor Deval Patrick in Massachusetts, at one point, according to you, embraced this organization. But at the last minute before that prayer service that President Obama was going to be at last week, what happened?
Well, that's the good news. The night before the Islamic Society of Boston's Imam, Sahib Webb, was going to join and represent the Muslim community at this memorial service, Governor Patrick called him up and disinvited him. And that's the good news.
You are looking to authorities now for two things: to investigate radical Islam in Boston in general, but also to disavow with political correctness. In what way?
Well, for 10 years, we've been presenting evidence, the kind of, much more than I've told you here, that links these mosques, the one in Boston, which is the largest mosque on the East Coast, and the one in Cambridge, its sister mosque, blocks away from the Chechens. And because of political correctness, they've blinded themselves. I mean, political correctness may be our own suicide belt. We sat with the editors of the Boston Globe for 2 hours. We walked them through document after document after document. They wouldn't say a thing. We've spoken to political leaders in Boston. We have tried to get the liberal clergy in Boston who only wanted to be nice and embrace people without really thinking it through.